The old king had only 3 beautiful daughters, yet he resolved to bestow his finest land upon the one who loved him the most. After much deliberation, he summoned the princesses before him for questioning. The eldest princess declared that her love for her father was akin to that of a dove for its wheat. The king was pleased with her words. Next, the second princess expressed that her love for him was like the cool breeze on a scorching summer day. The old king was also delighted by her words. However, the youngest princess stated that her love for her father was like the common people's love for salt. Upon hearing this, the old king flew into a rage, for salt was the cheapest commodity in the land. Refusing to listen to his daughter's explanations or pleas, he immediately banished her from the castle. The sorrowful princess wept as she ran into a forest, where she found a hollow tree to live in. For the following days, she could only gather berries to eke out a meager existence. Sometime later, the prince of a neighboring kingdom came to the forest for hunting, accompanied by his hunting dogs in search of prey. They discovered a trail of footprints, and the prince quietly followed them until he reached the hollow tree, nearly mistaking the princess for his quarry. When he caught sight of the young woman, he immediately dropped his gun and inquired about her plight. The princess could only weep bitterly in response. Moved by her plight, the prince lifted her onto his horse and took her back to his castle. Later, the prince ascended to the throne and proposed to the princess, holding the grandest wedding ever seen. After their marriage, they loved each other deeply and were inseparable. One day, the young king asked his beloved queen why her father had banished her from the palace. The queen replied that her love for her father was like people's love for salt. Upon hearing this, the king had an idea. He wrote a letter inviting the old king to visit and prepared a lavish banquet in his honor. However, to everyone's surprise, none of the sumptuous dishes contained any salt, rendering them tasteless and unappetizing. Unable to bear it any longer, the old king demanded to know what kind of chef would prepare such saltless food. The young king responded that he had heard from his queen that the old king did not like salt. Just then, the queen appeared before him. The old king, seeing his long-lost daughter, was overcome with emotion and tears. He suddenly realized the grave mistake he had made and abdicated the throne in favor of his youngest daughter. In the end, they all lived happily ever after.